Hi, I'm Rick Rheins, the Senior Rabbi at Temple Sinai in Denver. This week's Torah portion is Shmini, and it covers the 9th, 10th, and 11th chapters of the book of Leviticus. The 9th chapter deals, for the most part, of the 8-day ritual of ordination for Aaron, the son of Amram, the brother of Moses, who is being ordained as the Kohen HaGadol, the high priest. Now, the 8th day of that ordination process, Shmini, which means the 8th, is a great day of celebration, and Aaron comes out and he raises his hands and he blesses the people. It's a great celebration for all of the Israelites. His two oldest sons, Nadav and Abihu, obviously are taken up by this sense of celebration and their father becoming high priest, and also, no doubt, the thought that one day they will become high priests. In any case, they bring an offering that's not one that was instructed. They bring an offering by way of fire, and there's a tragedy. Nadav and Abihu, they die tragically. Moses sees his brother Aaron totally crestfallen, in terrible grief at this tragedy of his two sons who died on this very day of celebration. And Moses goes up to him and he tries to find words to comfort his brother. Moses says, this is what God meant. He said, Bikrovai ekadesh, with those who come near to me, I will be sanctified. Perhaps he was making reference to the fact that a offering to God is a korban, and one who brings that offering brings it close, vayikrav, those who come near to God. In any case, it was Nadav and Abihu who became the offerings. Was he saying that they were like a Kiddush Hashem, martyrs, sacrificed in this tragic way in glorification for God? The theological leap was too much for Aaron. It's too much for us too. We don't need explanations at a time of tragedy. In fact, Aaron's response is most eloquent. It's most eloquent because it's not a response at all. The Torah simply says, Vayidom Aharon, and Aaron was silent. Aaron was not ready for explanations, for justifications, wasn't ready for theology. He simply needed the loving support of his brother as he tried to pick up the pieces of his life after the death of his two sons. Today, which is the 8th day of April in the Hebrew calendar, it's the 26th day of Nisan. The 26th day of Nisan is Yom HaShoah. It's the day in which we commemorate, we have the memorial service for the 6 million murdered by the Nazis and their allies during the Holocaust. The offering, the whole offering, which is what the word Holocaust means. This day, the 26th of Nisan, sometimes the scholars, the pundits, the historians try to find reasons, explanations, perhaps justifications for the why. And they'll point to, well, there were the anti-Semitic teachings by the churches. There were the anti-Semitic teachings throughout the mosques and the territories where Jews were minorities, both in the Middle East and in Europe. And they'll find perhaps that there's nationalism and bigotry and racism that caused this. But we listen to their reasoning and the historical perspective and the punditry by the anthropologists, Vayidom, and we're silent because we can't find any satisfaction in their justifications and their historical analysis. 6 million people died, and they didn't die at some far corner of the earth, but rather 6 million people, our brothers and sisters, our cousins, our mishpacha, our family, all murdered because they were Jews in the very capitals of Europe, the height of civilization, in France, in Germany, in Austria, in Hungary, throughout Europe. And it wasn't just the Nazis, the neighbors, the shopkeepers, the government officials, they all cooperated to murder 6 million. 6 million seems so abstract. It seems too hard for us to get our heads around. And so there are some who will go into some practice of collecting paper clips or some other 6 million items so we can see the enormity of it. But our people were not paper clips. 6 million is not a number. 6 million faces. Those are what we mourn. 6 million people, human beings, mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, children, some murdered in death camps, some murdered in the fields. And they weren't numbers. They certainly weren't paper clips. They were human beings who had dreams and aspirations, not perfect. They made mistakes. They were just like us, human. And they certainly did not deserve to die. There's no justification for it. But a time for sitting silently in the reaction has passed. The time, rather, for us is to listen to the stories of the survivors, to learn and to teach, to speak up against anti-Semitism, racism, and bigotry and hatred, to say that wherever people suffer because of their faith, because of the color of their skin, because of their culture, we will not be silent. We will not try to justify it. We'll not try to explain it. We will simply say it's not right. And we will oppose those who oppress others. We light candles. We have these memorial candles lit in memory of the 6 million. On this Shabbat, in which we review the tragedy of Nadav and Avihu, the tragedy that befell these two young people, we know that there's lots of tragedy in this world. And so let us think of those who are suffering. Let us think most certainly of the 6 million of our people. And let us not be silent, but rather speak up and teach and build a better and safer world. God bless.